education, and they are going to be more interested if you come in and say, I've done this, I've had this experience, than just to say, I'm really interested in what you do. Obviously, they're going to be interested in some ways if you're interested, but you take it to that next level if you can show action to your words, in a sense, I'm interested in this, and this is what I've done to try to prepare or to get an experience in these areas. And so whether you're volunteering locally, or sometimes you can volunteer as part of your study abroad organization in NGOs overseas, or community organizations and things like that, that can be helpful. International higher education. I threw this slide in just given the nature of this presentation, and so this isn't my normal to students or go, but really what this is more looking at, okay, we talk about study abroad and connecting all these other majors. There is also an industry of international education. And this is where, if you're interested as you go, what could you do that's connected within higher education, and I would say increasingly even down to the high school levels and so forth, you're seeing some of this as well. But you could be involved in similar roles of myself, like education abroad. There's specialized roles. Being here at SIUE, I'm kind of a one-stop shop in the sense of I do from start to finish, but at other institutions, you might be able to specialize in the business aspect of it, or the advising, or marketing, or things like that within education abroad as a whole. That's also the next, international students and scholars. That's the other half of our office here at SIUE, but that's a big area in the US and abroad also, where you can help international students that are coming here and serve as advisors, as program directors, things of that nature for students coming in. And some of it's interesting. I worked with a university down in Mexico where their director of their education abroad program was from Germany. He had done the study abroad program in Mexico, loved it, and never left, basically. And so you never know where it will take you. So it is more than just US based, it's international. Affiliate organizations, those would be the organizations that sometimes we partner with, where they're a study abroad group, where they might run 20 programs around the world. We partner with them to allow our students to use their programs. So again, another opportunity to be involved as a career in international education would be like our affiliates, or sometimes providers is another kind of industry term for them. And then the industry organizations, it's more thinking those that are helping support, if you would, whether it be travel, airlines, but then also those that are helping with visas, tours, those type of things, more in the peripheral of what it is, but still services that we use, whether health services, like the health insurance companies that specialize for international travel and so forth, could also fall under that group. Peace Corps Prep, this is another one that I wanted to spend some time on, while also leaving time for our questions, but this is a program that's probably under-publicized, and that would be my fault here at SIUE. But what this does is the Peace Corps Prep program, as you would maybe guess from the first two words, is part of the Peace Corps. And what the Peace Corps has done is they've partnered with certain universities. This isn't open to every university. I believe last time I knew, there was like maybe the high 200s in the US that have this partnership. SIUE is one of those. What it is in a nutshell is different ways you could describe it, but maybe a simple one is an international leadership development program. It's something that a student could do over their 4 years at SIUE. If you come to me 2 years in, we might be able to kind of retroactive backtrack some of that. If you come early, we can plan a little easier in that. And what it does is it lines up with the Peace Corps 6 areas that they're looking to grow, and what they send people in. And you would kind of pick one of those. There's certain classes and experiences and other things that you would need to, in a sense, take or accomplish to check off what's needed for it. At the end of it, the Peace Corps recognizes you as a Peace Corps Prep graduate, in a sense, and there's a certificate and all that fun stuff. On its own, this is something that is actually open to all students, even non-American international students as well. The Peace Corps Prep program, that is. On its own, like I said, it's a certificate of leadership development, because there will be things where, yeah, you would need to do leadership, you need to be involved in some type of international, usually like a study abroad or some other type of work that has that cultural and international component to it. And then of course courses and some activities in those, one of those 6 areas that the Peace Corps is. An added benefit for those that are eligible and looking at going to the Peace Corps is, while this does not guarantee you placement, the way it's been described to me is it helps kind of bump your resume up that list of stack that they get. Yours kind of gets an opportunity to do that. So it's not a guarantee. I like to make that expectations where they are, but it is helpful, especially for those looking at the Peace Corps. I would be the one to talk to about that. That is something we're wanting to do more. We do have some Peace Corps return volunteers on campus and in this area, so resources for those that are interested. Another quick note, the Boren, Fulbright were mentioned as well. I mean, the Boren Scholarship is one that, yes, study abroad we work with and glad to help with. And with Fulbright, part of my role is actually helping our students that are looking to do the Fulbright Student Award, so US-based students that are looking to go overseas. I'm the FPA, as they say, and so if you are interested in that, and we right now even extend this to alumni, that we are willing to help you with the process, put together the committee to review your proposal and all that fun stuff. And so I would say please reach out to me if you are interested, and we can help with that. We also, I know on campus, have Fulbrighters that have done it both as faculty, as students, and then of course we have Fulbrighters coming the other way, where they're coming from other countries to help here, whether that be in our language programs or other programs. And so a lot of things with that program as well. And so that's a good one, and it is one that can seem overly, not complicated, but a lot. And yes, there is a lot, it's a long process, but this is part of what we're trying to say. You have resources. SIUE is here to support you in this, and that's, the Fulbright, for instance, is one that I'm offering as of right now, that we are also, like I said, open to working with alumni, because that is something that is allowed, that you can still come through and use, in a sense, SIUE as your school if you want. Quickly, for students, next steps would be to meet with myself, to begin our application, and then, like I said, kind of look and we work with you on finding out where all this stuff, the costs, how much financial aid helps or doesn't help, and stuff like that. And some cases it can help a lot, some cases not as much, but generally speaking, I say at least look into it, because you never know. It could be a pleasant surprise. And then, as I said, meet with your academic advisor and others that you may need to finalize the process. And for faculty and staff that are interested to go, please contact me, whether it be for faculty-led programs. It would be the same contact information. Thank you for your time.
Okay, we can open it to questions, if you have any questions from the audience.
I actually have a question
Yes,
for
please.
Ryan.
Yes, please.
I know you get to study abroad, but do you have anything with like the Native Americans where you do things on the reservations, perhaps with Navajo or some of those other type of things?
We don't actively right now, but would love to talk about it. Like, we are also open to domestic study away is probably the term we would use, but very open to working with those as well in a similar capacity.
Can I ask the director of the International Institute, how many people do you take on in internships per year? Do you open it for the summer, for every semester, like in education, or for year, for financial year?
Yeah, that's a good question. So in terms of internships at the International Institute, I think sometimes it's on a need basis, so it just kind of depends on what the needs we have. If there's, we'll also be approached by universities that say, hey, we have, some students that would like to intern for the course of the semester or year, or if there's a program on campus where there's an internship partnership per se, we're always open to working alongside that. And then so there's sometimes other like opportunities for students, that like fellowship opportunities with other organizations that we also partner with via the International Institute. So that could be over the course, again, of a semester or a year-long process I believe that there's one under the Pershing Charitable Foundation. That's a fellowship opportunity for students. So just as an example of ways that the International Institute of St. Louis partners or works with universities or students directly in terms of internships. And sometimes those aren't always posted online either. So a great way just to say that that's where the power of relationships comes in, or just reach out and say, hey, is there an opportunity to intern, and this is what I'm looking to do, these are my skills, this is what I'm looking to achieve. And you know, it might be a good opportunity timing wise, and it might not work out right now, but it's always something good to have just as an option, and to at least do that outreach.
Yes, I wanted to let you know that, like in many other departments of the International Studies program, we have a framework in which the student gets like a signed slip by the institution that they will take an internship with, and they can apply for credit, up to 6-9 credits as an undergraduate.
That's right.
So they can work several times with the same institution.
Is that only for nonprofit or for profit as well, business as well? Or doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter,
It has
okay.
to be an internship,
Yeah,
and
just an
somebody has
experience.
to sign, hey, this person really will work with me. Well, of course, you can't obligate somebody to work if you don't pay them to come daily, 8 hours a day or something, when they are also students. So you have to make an arrangement.
Yeah, you jogged my memory on a internship that we worked together with a few years back. So
Yes, remember?
I'll say quickly with this idea, like going back to the Peace Corps prep program, part of the goal is to try to double up some of these requirements and since have them count for multiple
Yeah.
things. So if you did an internship where you were volunteering, it may qualify both for that, for academic credit, but it also may qualify for something like meeting the Peace Corps prep requirement for the volunteer hours. That's part of that. So it would depend on the specific, like what you were doing, but those are ways that we're trying to find ways that you're not just adding more and more and more, but that you can kind of, accomplish multiple things with the same project or experience.
and I'll just add on to that, like these are like life-changing experiences, whether it's the Peace Corps or other very unique experiences that will just like, one, they add not just like from a credit or resume building standpoint, but just like this is how the world works, and you're experiencing that firsthand. So those are like, I'll say, some previous work that I've done, I've had the chance to travel to some other countries, produce conferences, and those are experiences that I'll never forget, and I'll cherish those moments now because I don't know if I'll get to do that again in the future. So just like take advantage, especially while you're young and don't have a lot of responsibilities, or depending on whatever your responsibilities are, how can you leverage and take advantage of some of those unique, really unique experiences.
I just wanted to add that from the academic side, I see in the, we started in 2016, International Studies program, so now it's 8 years. And I see a high percentage of our students who graduate with International Studies degree going into a master program later on. Because I think of this interest in doing internships, studying abroad, studying a network of people that are more diverse, and there are more opportunities for them to develop their mind more.
Also, actually, one of the gentlemen back there mentioned about, you want to teach English down the road, right?
Yeah, that's on the list of
Right.
interests.
So there's one of the program I actually can tell you right now that South Korea, okay, have a government policy that every high school and middle school has at least one English teacher. I have an office in South Korea, by the way, so I go there every few months. And whenever I go in subway or in public places, when I hear people, South Korea is a pretty diverse country, they speak English a lot. I hear American accent because I live here. Oh, he's where we chatted. Okay, well, half of times, young youngsters from USA spent a couple of years in Korea to teach English. I met one actually. He made Korea home. He actually married a Korean girl. He lived there 15 years. He got a couple of children, So I'm not saying that's the best way, but what I'm saying is, I'm not suggesting. But there's a lot of people out there, like Carl said, those programs are your a positive life changing experience, and then especially finding out what options you have ahead of you.
Absolutely.
And you know, we are exploring the possibility because a few years ago we had 2 or 3 students who were really interested in studying abroad in Korea, but they didn't have an opportunity through our foreign languages department to do a minor, those 18 credits, level 1, level 2 in foreign language that we have now for German, French, Spanish, Chinese, and now Ukrainian actually this year because we have a Fulbrighter. But maybe we can bring through a Fulbright program
Right.
a professor from Korea who can teach Ukrainian here, because then if you know the basics, you can really dare to go and understand the people on the street
That's
in
correct. Yeah,
Korea.
great. Yeah, I think a lot of universities actually, sorry not to be talking about here, but yeah, I think that's great cooperation between universities. So, that's
Okay, well, if there are no other questions, we will take a short break, and the next session will start at 11. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Give them a round of applause. As I said.